Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with cleaning the concrete. Recommend right before you apply the UV sealer not to just use straight water, as that's going to saturate the concrete, and then you're going to have to let it dry out for at least 24 hours to be on the safe side. We've already done a water 50-50 water acetone wipe, and now I'm going to do actually a straight acetone wipe, and then I'm going to blow it off if there's any dust as well in that. So I've got a basic rag here, some acetone, and I'm just going to go ahead and wipe. As you can see, it's evaporating real quick, and that's why we like to use acetone. You want to be cautious when you use acetone. You might want to wear some rubber gloves. Get all your edges. And that's the process of cleaning it right before you're applying the UV. One thing, I like to roll. You can actually spray or roll the UV on. Spraying, I believe, is just going to waste material, and it's going to cause you more cleanup, and it's really not necessary because we're ultimately going to polish out the sealer with the sanding process that we'll show you later on. So, no sense in spraying, but however you can feel free to spray if that's your choice. I like to use a 3/16 snap roller. You might want to buy one that's maybe on the upper end just to make sure it's the cheaper ones tend to delint real quick. So if you can find one in your local area, this is a Sherwin-Williams 3/16 snap roller. Before you actually use the roller, you're going to want to wrap duct tape around here and pull it off to delint it. To be on the safe side, it wouldn't even hurt to do it 2 or 3 times. However, though, if lint does get in the UV sealer, which one nice thing about the UV, it doesn't matter because it's not the finishing step. It's not the last process. We're going to polish that out, which all that any lint dust will actually be removed through the sanding process. So one other thing that I like about the UV sealer is I use the same roller. Matter of fact, I think it gets better and better as the older it gets. So there's not going to be any waste in throwing rollers out every time or trying to clean them. You're not going to want to try to clean UV out of these rollers. It's just very difficult, and you're going to end up spending a lot of time. So what I like to do is take a clean bucket and just hang it just like that, and it's going to actually drip. And if you cover it up real good, you might be able to recycle it if you actually use it fairly soon in the next day or two. But a lot of this will get full, set here, it's going to drip out. Make sure you cover it real well so no dust or other particles get in here. And if you do that, you'll actually be able to recycle some of your material. Just make sure it's not being contaminated or hit direct sunlight where UV exposure is going to happen, which is going to initiate the photo initiators in the UV product, which is actually going to start gelling it up. Okay, so we've went over that. This is a brush that I haven't been using for a little while. I've got a cup of UV sealer. You're going to see it's a little bit of a purplish tint. This is the latest version. It had a little bit more of a yellow amberish tint to it. And one of the things was when we do white concrete, it tend to put a little bit of a yellow tint to it. So we've actually changed the formula. This is actually going to make it real clear, although it's going to look a little purple when we put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just pouring it directly on the material. Real important, your main goal here is just to get this thinned out evenly. So what I did here was I poured it on there. I've got a nice even line in the middle, and now I'm going to go ahead and share it around. Again, the most important thing you can do here is make sure you put a nice even coat on. Apply the sides. It's alright just to let it drip off. Those can easily be removed. Once you feel you've got it all leveled out, not leveled out, but rolled around where you've got a nice even coat, which I feel we're almost there. But one last coat, or one last And now we're going to let this actually sit for anywhere from, could be 10 minutes, could be all the way up to 30 minutes, depending on the climate in your shop. This is kind of a thicker material, so it's going to level out on its own. Our goal here is to get this leveled out like glass. And if we do that, it's going to be less processing time. We don't want this to have an orange peel effect. Right now, when we put it on, it's going to have a little bit of an orange peel effect, but as over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, it's going to end up looking like glass. And that's the goal here, is to get this like glass. Another benefit by using the UV is you don't necessarily need to have a dust-controlled room. The reason being is if particles float in here, table saws going off, 20 feet from there, dust settles in here, it's all going to be sanded out. So you don't have to have a dust-free room or an enclosed area or wait until the end of the day because you're going to be done with all your shop equipment, let the dust settle. This can all be processed out. So that's a benefit where you don't have to enclose a room where some of the other sealers you might want to have more of a dust-free environment. We're going to go ahead and let this sit for 15-20 minutes and then we'll be back. Okay, actually this has been sitting out for about 3 or 4 minutes and I noticed some air bubbles come to the surface. And if you can, it's not a real big deal to get those out, but it's better if you can get them out before you cure, so the bubbles don't cure in. One technique that I've used, it's very quick and fast, is running just a shot of air over it. I'm going to do that in a second. Be careful though if you're using any type of air source, make sure that there's no water being blown out, moisture, oils, etc. So just make sure that you've got clean air, and air is the only thing coming out of here. So go ahead and turn that on, Bob. Okay, we just quickly ran over that. We're going to go back to letting this sit for another 15, 20, 30 minutes, somewhere right in there. You can already see it's starting to level out like glass. The orange peel is starting to fade. And now that we took the bubbles out of there, it's really going to level out nice. So we'll be back.